So today, Katie and I are going to talk to you all about teaching English to speakers of other languages. University of Michigan Flint has a TESOL, which is what the acronym is for teaching English to speakers of other languages. We have a certificate program, and so I'm going to share a little bit about our program with you today. We're going to start off with a discussion about a little bit about my background and some of the places that other alumni have gone after completing the certificate program. I'm going to turn it over to Katie then to share a little bit of her experience teaching in South Korea. She's been there for a couple of years now. And then we'll wrap up by talking about the TESOL certificate program at UM-Flint. And if at any point you have a question, please go ahead and just enter it into the chat box or the Q&A box. And Logan, if you could help me keep an eye on that, that would be great while I go through the presentation. And if you just want to wait till the end and ask questions, then that's also fine. So real flexible and informal in this webinar today. So to get started, just a little bit about me. These are some pictures from me when I had just finished my undergraduate degree. I moved away to Switzerland, and there I learned German as an additional language. And I also got my first experiences teaching English to speakers of other languages. So it was a great experience. I got to, travel around Europe. I met people in my German class from all over the world. None of us spoke German. We were in the very beginning kind of language learning experience. It was a lot of fun. And then I also, as I said, got my first experiences teaching there. So I worked as a teacher's aide for a high school level English as a second language class. So I don't have any pictures of that, but so the pictures that you see here are me just exploring Switzerland and learning German with my German class. So after I finished that experience, I decided it was just such a great experience to teach English, and I really liked doing it, but I had no training. So I went back to school and I did a master's in TESOL. And just after I finished that, before starting my PhD program in linguistics and TESOL, I worked for 2 summers teaching English. We call it English for Specific Purposes, ESP, English for Specific Purposes, on a cruise ship. So I lived and worked on a cruise ship going up and down the coast of Alaska and teaching English to the crew. So this was a great experience. You can see there's some pictures of Alaska with the one at the top there with the ship in the background. And then you also have there a picture of my class. So if you didn't already know this, English is the language of international travel, be that either by ship or by air. And so English for Specific Purposes is very often used for these kinds of safety protocols and travel. English for Specific Purposes can also be, for example, teaching academic English, which I also do here at the University of Michigan Flint. I work with international students now, and I run the Bridge program, which are the ESL classes, English as a second language, ESL classes for our international students. These are just a couple of the things that you can do as with a TESOL certificate or with a TESOL degree. And so at University of Michigan Flint, we've got several students who have graduated. It's a fairly new program. And we've got people teaching everywhere from here locally in Michigan to other places like I know that, of course, Katie is in South Korea. We've had other people teaching in Saudi Arabia, in Sudan, and in Czechia, or what used to be the Czech Republic. So those are just a few of the places that our alumni have gone to teach English to speakers of other languages. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Katie to share a little bit about her experience.
Hi everyone, I'm Katie. I am currently working at a middle school in Cheongdam, Gangnam, Seoul, which is the wealthiest part of all of Korea. So I teach a lot of like really, really powerful people's children. But last year, I had the absolute pleasure of teaching at a elementary school in Incheon. I am what is called a native English teacher. So I teach EFL, which is English as a foreign language. So the same way we had to learn growing up like Spanish or French in school, I teach that but it's English. So for me, I don't really have any pictures this year for my students because of COVID. It has been mostly online teaching. But here's some pictures from me last year with some of my students. I taught third grade through sixth grade, and it was always a blast. The classroom was always loud and exciting. And, you know, if you know kids, they're always excited about everything and interested in everything. So it was really easy to get them excited about English. You just had to like play a game with them and they were into it. This year's been a lot more challenging teaching middle schoolers, especially because it's online. So not only are they, you know, moody preteens, they also don't really get to enjoy class in person, like with games or activities and things. So it's definitely more of a challenge. But overall, I'd say my experience here has been really good. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Even with the pandemic, it has been a super good time.
Yeah, you have another slide here.
Okay,
So,
good. Yep.
yeah.
So when you're teaching, at least here for me, not only is it about the experience of being in Korea, which has been crazy and amazing, but also you have things like they have Teachers Day here, which is like a holiday, and your students will write you letters. And this year, because I didn't have students in class, I didn't get any from my current students, but I did have a student from last year write me one and send it to me, which was really cute, which is the picture you'll see there. And I got to do fun things like teach English musical club, which is basically where we would watch Disney movies and I would teach them the songs in English and we would sing them and perform them. And I got to judge a super duper spectacular English festival talent show, which was also really cool. I've got to explore all of Korea. I've been all over the country. And also I've gone to Japan and Guam, and I unfortunately had plans to visit Italy, but was not able to. Hopefully next year, maybe.
Great. Thank you, Katie. So let me tell you all a little bit about the UM-Flint program. Basically, it's 15 credits, and this is a certificate program, so it's not the same as an ESL endorsement. So if any of you are K-12 teachers and you're interested in an ESL endorsement, please know it's something that I'm working on, but it's not something that is currently available. Now, that being said, the TESOL certificate does provide you with a lot of skills. So if you're thinking about going into education, it's definitely skill based, and so you can add it onto any program. So if you're majoring in education, great. If you're majoring in English, no problem. If you're majoring in biology or math, anything that you're majoring in, you can add this certificate on because it's only 15 credits. So the progression of the courses starts out with some intro level courses that give you kind of an understanding of the building blocks of language and the structure of English. So those are your 200 level courses. Then the next, you're going to take a theories course, and that's going to be a 300 level course. And so that one talks about the theories of second language acquisition. And then in the final course, you're going to do the seminar and practicum. And this is a really important part of the program because it actually gives you teaching experience. So Katie, for example, she went in and did push-in support for local immigrant children, English learners, who speak another language other than English in the home. And she worked with a local, I think it was a third grade teacher, is that right?
Second grade, yeah.
Yeah. And so, and went into the classroom and gave support to the students. And so that was her teaching practicum. For those that are interested in working with adults, I usually have an option for that. This year with the pandemic, my students are actually doing online teaching in Bogota, Colombia. So they're working with future teachers there to do a virtual exchange, and then also teaching children in Bogota English. So there's always some kind of practical experience that you get for your teaching, even if we're teaching online, as we are in this in this pandemic circumstance. So you also get some experience networking in the TESOL field by attending and participating in the Michigan TESOL conference. So that's something that we have done every year, and all of the students that finish our TESOL certificate also at least attend, if not also present, at the Michigan TESOL conference, and that is a professional conference. It's regional. It's part of the International TESOL organization. So it's a very friendly way for participants, for students in the TESOL certificate program, to really get a sense of what the field is like and all the different options that are available, plus getting that networking experience as well, which is so important. So again, in just thinking about how to prepare for these courses, you can do it across either, 4 semesters, or we could combine it into just 2 semesters starting next year, where you would take your 200 level courses and maybe also the 300 level course at the same time, and then the 400 level course the following semester. So there's also an option between online or face-to-face. So this has not been an option before, but we're moving to more making sure that we can serve as many students as possible who are interested in this TESOL certificate, and knowing that so many of our students are attending only online, I've made the certificate available as a fully online program. So the 200 level courses, for those of you who love face-to-face courses, you can still complete many of these courses face-to-face. So the 200 level courses you can do either online or face-to-face. The 300 level course, you get to choose between TEL 313, which is second language acquisition. And so this is your theories course. Either you can do that course, which has kind of a broad overview, or if you're really interested in working with children, then I would recommend to you taking one of our School of Education courses, which is EDR 341, Teaching in the Multicultural Classroom. EDR 341 is typically taught face-to-face. And then the 400 level course, now this is just one course, but it's actually 6 credits because it's essentially 2 courses combined into one. So it's this seminar where you're learning to apply all of the theories and knowledge that you've learned in the 200 and 300 level courses, and you're applying them then in the practicum. So that 400 level course is going to be an online synchronous course offered from now on in winter. Now, if you want more information, the TESOL certificate website is a good reference for you, and I can post that link in the chat if you like, or you can just do a Google search for UM-Flint TESOL certificate. It'll come right up. It's the first thing that comes up. You may also want to talk to an advisor about how to fit the program into your schedule. So if you're an English major, then Khalila Rashada is going to be your professional advisor, but I can also do some advising specific to the TESOL certificate program. And then you should also be planning ahead. So working with your advisor, thinking about when are you going to take these different courses, and making sure that they fit into your schedule. So um, we try to have a pretty wide range of options for when you can take these courses, either by offering them online, or in the case of the winter online synchronous 400 level course, those are always offered in the evening. So that way, if somebody is working during the day, that you could still attend and get the TESOL certificate in the evening. Now, if you're thinking about doing this program as part of your bachelor's degree, great. You know, whatever financial aid you have can be applied to this. And bonus, if you're interested in adding a minor to your degree, you can, with just one more class, get a linguistics minor as well. So you can do the 15 credits of the TESOL certificate and get a minor all in the same go if you're interested. Now, if you are not also pursuing a degree and you're interested in doing the certificate as a non-candidate for degree, then unfortunately, that means that you'll need to be planning ahead for the cost of the program, because you won't be eligible for the same financial aid as if you're applying for a full degree program. So that's something that we can discuss more if you have questions about it. But do know that the financial aid that you may have received in a bachelor's degree program, you don't get for a certificate program like this. All right, and that is the end of the prepared remarks, but I'd like to open it up for questions from anyone. Feel free to enter in the chat, or and I've also added my